What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be doing another mock draft after another week of the NFL season. So if you guys are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that fun YouTube jazz. Lots of links down in the description for you guys to become even more involved. We're going to be doing a fan mock within the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be doing some live streams and stuff with that. So check out the Discord because you guys will find out about that first. And for the fan mock, that's going to be where you're going to be able to potentially participate. So without further ado, let's kick this off. We're going to be doing 2 rounds, but it's going to be split up into 2 separate videos. So if you guys want to see how it all plays out, feel free to check that one when it comes out. Start off with the pick. First overall, we got the Bears. This is my own personal draft order. I've tweaked it a little bit, but once there's like much more, like I think with teams like the Bengals, I'm not going to be putting them in the top 5 because I think it's complete bullshit. But, because, I mean, let's just look at it this way. The one unit that requires the most cohesion, maybe besides wide receiver to quarterback, is offensive line. So I think certain teams that are trying to revamp it, the Rams, the Bengals, the Super Bowl teams, those ones will be able to still keep some type of prowess in terms of that. So we're keeping that leveled. Again, certain teams are starting to move up. Certain teams are starting to move down. We'll base it off of that. But let's get right into the video. Pick number 1, you got the Bears. And again, like they won a game, but they didn't do it very prettily. And that sounds like an awful word, and it is. But they didn't do it very well. You know, they had a monsoon to favor them. They had Trey Lance, who pretty much has no place as a legit starting quarterback just yet. With his talent level, he definitely will get there. I hope he has a speedy recovery. Again, I know he had 2 ankle surgeries or 2 major injuries to his ankle. I hope all the best for him because, again, good football is a lot better than being right. I was not a big Trey Lance guy. But still, regardless, the Bears, they show more than what I gave them credit for. But you're in an NFL where the bar it gets raised every single year. They're not there yet, so I'm going to keep them at number 1. Regardless, at this spot, you kind of have to go BPA, and that is Will Anderson Jr. I know Travis Gibson has been doing an amazing job, but Robert Quinn's also really old, and I would never say no to Will Anderson. You're either going to be going Bryce Young or Will Anderson at number 1 overall. Number 2, I'm going to be going Bryce Young here. I think it's pretty obvious. He's the only reason why they didn't lose to Texas in the first place. You know, his wide receivers did not help him out at all. And I think that Bryce Young is an amazing talent. I really do. You know, he puts balls in perfect spots all the time. He doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but you know what? He might have one of the best arms overall when it comes to being able to control exactly where he wants it. I do think Bryce Young has an amazing NFL career ahead of him, and I just hope he stays healthy. With a revamped offensive line for the Seahawks, with Charles Cross coming into his own, Abraham Lucas, that's going to be a really good start point. Pick number 3, we have the Falcons on the board. I'm going to give respect to Desmond Ridder. I'm going to say that he is not going to be replaced in 1 year. Also, I don't think this quarterback class is nearly as good as we all thought it was. CJ Stroud is not as good as people think he is. We all know Tyler Van Dyke and Anthony Richardson look like complete hot trash right now. If you guys are curious how a player's doing every week, I have a series that says, hey, these are the guys to watch out for. But also I have a series that says, hey, these are how these guys have done. This is how they are compared to my board, where I had both of those quarterbacks fall 2 weeks in a row. Hurts me because I was big advocates of both of them in the preseason. But at this spot, you have to go BPA again. Your team's just not there yet. You have pretty much the weapons there, the offensive line. You're not exactly going to be able to fix it right now. I think Caleb McGarry's fine enough, and you just gave a 3-year contract to Matthews, so tackle's not exactly my worry. Therefore, I'm going with the best player on the board. That's Jalen Carter. That guy's just an absolute freak. He really is. He just throws dudes like it's nothing. He is really one of one. We say that every year, but you know, again, just because you're one of one doesn't mean that you are going to be the one. Again, you're not going to be Aaron Donald, but he very well could have a similar impact if he hits his ceiling. Kid is absolutely amazing as an athlete, as well as very dynamic in terms of his variability as a pass rusher, and he's really good in the run. Big fan of him. Bottom line, big fan. Pick number 4, we have the Texans on the board, and I really want to potentially go a tackle for them, and we very well might because I do just naturally like to go offensive line for teams. Titus Howard, you know, I honestly don't think Titus Howard is the answer long term, especially with the cost of tackles nowadays. We have back-to-back picks. Again, I don't really have full faith in Cleveland. Nick Chubb cannot do everything on his own. And again, I'm just personally, like, you got beat by Joe Flacco. This is not changed, to be honest. Like, you guys almost lost 2 weeks in a row. Lost one of them. But if you are sitting here, I'm looking at CJ Stroud, and I'm like, man, I really want to wait another year. The problem is the fan base doesn't, and you really do want to cater to the fan base. This is out of a realism. This hurts the living hell out of me. CJ Stroud is number 28 on my board. It's not really that much lower anyway. But I'm going to take him here. Again, that's just naturally what teams do. You have 2 first-round picks. You're probably going to spend one on a QB. I pray to God it's like last year, and teams are like, I'm going to wait till the second round or the third round to, select a guy. But people love CJ. I'm not one of them. Again, I'm not his hater because, again, I have a first-round grade on him. But I'm not that hyped up about it. This pick, I might go Myles Murphy. I think adding some extra pass rush is never a bad thing. He is still my number 1 player in the draft, but I am definitely watching him because he has not performed at all this season. I'm giving him one more week, and that's not very confidence driving in myself to be able to take him at this spot when I have someone like Peter Skoronski that I have at number 4 on my board. I think Peter Skoronski is a baller. Granted, he's never played right tackle, so I don't know if that's exactly the best move. Maybe waiting and trying to develop another talent is the better move. So we're going to go with that. We're going to get some extra pass rush here. Myles Murphy helping out that Lovie Smith defense. Help out the offense, help out the defense. Pick number 6, the Patriots are on the board. And honestly, they probably need to just draft an offensive coordinator at this point. That's going to be the biggest return on their investment. But I think you kind of either have to go wide receiver here, which they haven't done a very good job of filling anyway, or you have to go after a corner. And this league has shown that we've shifted our value system to receivers, and therefore I'm going to respect the head and shoulders number 1 receiver in the draft, Jordan Addison, at pick number 6. The guy makes football look like it's second nature, really easy for him, and he's just totally taking his game up to even another level after winning the Blitnikoff. So I'm a huge fan. Big fan of Jordan Addison. Pick number 7, the Jets are on the board, and tackle is my number 1 concern. How often can you continue patching a position with George Fant? You can't. He's great to have on the roster, and he should start at one of the positions, but how many times is this guy going to be able to fill a position where he's needed rather than actually just letting him play wherever the hell he wants? Peter Skoronski, my number 4 player in the class, put on 20 pounds this year, so he has just become fully into his own. The guy's been performing extremely well as well. I'm a huge fan of Skoronski. Pick number 8, the Panthers have fallen, and yeah, they're just not looking good. They're looking at a quarterback here, but I have a feeling they might. I honestly feel like the regime's going to be totally gutted. And this is a team I feel would want instant success rather than saying, hey, we're going to take a rookie quarterback that just has absolutely unknown potential. Therefore, I'm going to be looking at maybe another position. Granted, I would have loved to go after edge rusher here. And I still might go a QB. I still might say, hey, we're going to be sticking to the Anthony Richardson train one more week and then see how it goes. Offensive line is always something you could address. Receiving weapons are great. Running back, obviously, it's Christian McCaffrey. But, I don't really know. Is there an edge that I would take at this point? I think Andre Carter might climb up boards when he does test. I have a weird feeling he could be in the 4.4s. So, this is a crazy one. We're having a little bit of fun here. It's is it a Wednesday morning? It's a Wednesday morning. So, we're going to draft Andre Carter. I think that he's going to have a major rise when he tests because the guy is 6'7". He's going to run in the 4.4s. Hot take. But pick number 9, you have the Giants on the board. And I think this team feels comfortable taking a big risk on someone like Anthony Richardson because I think they're going to bring someone like Jimmy G in or, just another placeholder. But I think Jimmy G gives them the best chance to win. This is the only team that I have faith in developing Anthony Richardson besides maybe Kansas City. I genuinely have no faith in Anthony Richardson developing if he's not under Dable. So we'll see how it goes. Pick number 10. Yes, the Cardinals are here. I don't know how the hell they ended up beating the Raiders, but, that's not for me to understand. They need a corner. We're going Keely Ringo. He's been doing even better this year. The guy is locked down. Big fan of Keely Ringo. The Cowboys, yes, the Cowboys are here. Live with it. They are going to be looking at a wide receiver, in my opinion. Jackson Smith and Jigba would be a really good slot. I know Michael Gallup is there, and you could put Jackson Smith and Jigba wherever the hell you want, to be fair. But I just feel like this is a team that really does need a spark in their offense. I don't know if free agency is going to be able to fix that. Tyler Smith's been working out well. So for the haters out there, take it, suck it. I was a big Tyler Smith guy. So I'm going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba here to keep it nice and easy. The Jaguars are on the board. And honestly, I'm going to be going an interior offensive lineman. We're going to actually, he's not even listed. That's how awful PFF is. We're going to take Will McDonald. If this is Osiris Torrance, I think Will Shatley is starting at guard. You need help there. And Osiris Torrance has been balling the F out there for Florida. He went from Louisiana all the way to Florida. The dude has been playing even better this year. I think that is a guy who is definitely going to be one of those Kenyon Green level type of talents in the NFL's eyes. I like him a lot more than Kenyon Green. So, big fan there of the man out of Florida. The Eagles are on the board, and when looking at it, I need to go corner for sure. But I want to look at other positions. I think Will McDonald would be a really fun guy to add into this edge group. Of course, say it with me, PFF doesn't have him on their board. They're idiots. I mean, no disrespect to PFF, but if y'all don't have Will McDonald in your top 100, that's not good. So I am going to actually go after the corner here because I think it's more of a risk that I take him. That is going to be Joey Porter Jr. The guy, it hurts me because I want him to go to the Steelers, but he is one of the most locked down players in the nation, great in the run game. I'm telling you right now, I had him at number 8 at the start of the year. This guy might be a top 5 pick. He is awesome, and he has amazing length. The Washington Commanders on the board. If they are at this point, I don't think Wentz has actually been that big of an issue. And again, I usually had him at number 9, so I've already moved them up. They might move up even more. But I think that going after a DB probably is your best case scenario. I'm going to go Garrett Williams here, someone who's very versatile. He is so locked down. Again, another player I had in my top 10 starting the year. This corner class is ridiculous. Absolutely insane. The Titans need to go offensive line, and lucky for them. Now, hold on. I'm about to say Broderick Jones, but the fan base is going to shit their pants if another Georgia tackle is taken. So they're going to take another guy who is just as good, Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. Taylor Lewan got injured, and I think he got carted off the game. So he's not even able to prove that he's worth staying around. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing that or it's a good thing that he got carted off. But I'm saying that there's no recent evidence of him being able to play at a high level. So I hope, again, I don't like when players get injured. It's not really a great thing for the NFL. It's not a great thing for football. But I think Anton Harrison's a lot better than him regardless of his availability. The Colts, I think they had Faison starting as a corner, but we're going to go Broderick Jones here. That left tackle spot is absolutely atrocious. And finally, I'm seeing the Colts are not making the playoffs. They just don't have the legs to do it. Jonathan Taylor's overrated. You heard it here. Everybody's saying the MVP. I'm sorry, if the guy has 30 carries for 20 yards and has his 31st carry be for a 90-yard touchdown, Derrick Henry, then you're not a very efficient back, and you do actually cause your team some issues. I do not think Jonathan Taylor is the best back in the league. He has a very good interior offensive line, and I may sound like a hater like that. I love Jonathan Taylor. He was my number 4 running back that year, and it was a really close 4. He could have easily been 1. Just stop the hype saying that this guy's the next Jesus. It's not true. He's an absolutely amazing talent, but, there's a reason this team gets a 0 put on them. If you have that good of a running back being that efficient, you're not going to be stopped. That's just the plain truth. Regardless, the Raiders needed an offensive tackle, and they just got absolutely shellacked. But, there's Paris Johnson here. Honestly, I'm willing to go. Let's go Paris Johnson. But I was thinking of going a corner. This corner class, very deep. Round 2. Again, guys, remember there's a round 2. Check that out. The Steelers need a corner, speaking of. But I think they need a DB more than anything. The question is, can I get a safety round 2? 100%. So, therefore, I'm going to be going after, Cam Smith's fun. I'm going to be going after a player. Ooh, I really like Tyreek Stevenson, though. But we drafted Artie Burns out of the U. That was an absolute mistake. He's not on this list. His name's Jalen Jones out of Texas A&M. He's coming off an ankle injury. He didn't perform as well as I wanted him to. But again, you're coming off an ankle injury that put you out for multiple weeks. I want to see how he performs before I try to take him down from that pedestal. Pick number 19, the Seahawks are on the board via Denver. You already chose Bryce Young. I think an edge rusher wouldn't be a bad idea, but I think actually going after a linebacker in the best one, the only one actually worth a first-round pick at the moment. Trent Simpson's getting there, but Noah Sewell is the right move. 250 pounds, very, very good movement skills. Pick 20, you have the Lions on the board. This is going to be Antonio Johnson, uber versatile defensive back. I really don't think your team needs that much. Again, you could say, hey, we need to get a quarterback. Not the class to do it, man. Just going to be honest, not the class to do it. We probably still will take one, but not the class to do it. Pick number 21, we have the Vikings on the board. And you could look at someone like Kayshon Boutte here 100%, but he's been kind of a non-factor all year long. So when looking at this team, what I'd probably want to look at is maybe someone with a high ceiling like Trent Simpson to help out the defense. But I really want to look at corner. And I think this guy, I mean, if I had to do a comp right now, Pat Pete. Tyreek Stevenson is an absolute freak. 6 foot, 212 pounds, can return punts and kicks. Can also apparently muff them. You know, fuck you, Tyreek, for doing that against Tamu. But, you know, he is absolutely awesome. He is a lockdown in coverage and great in press. He's exactly what you'd be wanting there in Minnesota. The Bengals are on the board. I said this before. You still need to fix out interior offensive line. Andrew Voorhees is the guy that I'm going after. Joe Burrow's been the most hit over 2 weeks. I still have faith in them to make the playoffs, but they're a little bit capped in that aspect. The Dolphins are finally on the board. Hallelujah. But, I mean, I know everybody hates when I take a wide receiver for the team, so I am going to stray away from that. I'm actually going to go after Trent Simpson. I think that getting him and being able to groom him into a uber versatile linebacker is going to be your best return on the investment. You know, he can pass rush. He's ultra fast, ultra athletic. It's just worth it at that point, and I think the offense can be tweaked in any way, shape, or form to be able to work. The Rams pick goes to the Lions, and again, some people are going to cry for a quarterback. I think I'm going to go after a true number one receiver here in Quentin Johnston, because I don't know if DJ Shark's going to return, and you still need that big boundary. You have two really good weapons in Amon-Ra as well as Jameson. You need a big guy to scare the shit out of those safeties, because either he's going to get open, Jameson's going to get open, or obviously Amon-Ra apparently is always open. Pick 25, you have the Packers on the board. Did we already have the second Eagles pick? No, that's pick 28. So the Packers, man, the Packers, they need a lot. Offensive line is one of them, but I don't really think they're going to be addressing that. I mean, they should just get a wide receiver here, shouldn't they? They should. It's pretty logical, right? Do they do it? They just haven't, but they finally moved up to essentially a first-round pick for it. They might do it again. I think going after Jermaine Burton is going to be a great move for the franchise. Again, someone who's a really good deep threat. Could be falling. He hasn't been used the way I hoped he would, so we'll see about that. Pick number 26, the Chiefs. I think you want to bolster the interior, man, but Bijan is here. Oh, that's a bitch. I'm going to go Bijan. There's a certain point where you don't want the Chargers to get Bijan, so you have to. But, man, that'd be ridiculous. Big fan of that one. This pick might be Kayshon Boutte still. Like, it still might be his to take. But we're going to go Gervon Dexter Sr. here out of Florida. Like, he is a top 15 guy on my board. Absolute freak athletically. The Eagles, on the other hand, I still think can go after an edge player. This is going to be Will McDonald. I teased it earlier. We're just going to say it's Iabi Anoma. He's a nobody. So, no, he's not a nobody. I haven't studied him. That was extremely rude. But I think that he definitely is not going to be drafted by me in these 2 rounds. So, out of respect for Will McDonald, we need to take him. Pick number 29. We have the Ravens on the board. I guess, we don't really need a wide receiver necessarily. So, we'll look in round 2 for that. I honestly kind of want to look at corner here. I do. And I think, oh my God. Tell me Cam Smith is not a perfect fit. That scares the shit out of me. I love the idea of Cam Smith with his Baltimore Ravens defense. Just ridiculous. Pick number 30, we have the Buccaneers, and they need a quarterback. I don't know if they're going to find it, but they might just they might somehow slip Tyler Van Dyke in here. God forbid he gets overdrafted because of that 5th-year contract, but he stays in Florida. That's all I can say. He's used to it. Pick number 31, the Bills, ending off the first round. I think safety would not be a bad option to look at all. My favorite safety in the class is J.L. Skinner, my dream pick for the Steelers in round 2. He's 6'4", 220, can move in any direction very fluidly. The guy is a baller. The guy's a beast. I love him all around. Top 25 player in the class. And then featuring his frame too, could be up there in the top 15. So let me know what you guys think. Check out tomorrow for round 2. See you guys on the far side. Peace.